I'm Honor Janetsky. I help moms as a psychotherapist of 20 years and also a coach to realize a new way of doing motherhood that is full of so much ease and full of so much peace so that they're able to show up. My clients are able to really be present with their kids, really enjoy their kids, really learn to slow down time, which is just a huge trick of awareness and readjusting your conscious and unconscious minds around that, so that you can really enjoy the time that your kids are with you. We all know it's numbered. We all know that struggle mode is an easy place to kind of fall and trip into and then stay in and not get out and sort of push out that I'll do something about it someday. And until then, I just keep running on fumes, and getting lower and lower. And I know it because I've been there myself. And I know that so many of you in this group are really in a place of feeling tired, feeling depleted, feeling tired of feeling tired, and tired of feeling annoyed and resentful at people in your life. It's easy to kind of point out what's the cause of things out here, but much trickier to look at, but how do I change it? And change always comes from the inside out. Real lasting change always comes from the inside out. So today's topic for this live stream is probably the thing I talk about the most on my coaching sessions. And that is how to write the rules of motherhood in a way that works for you, your way, not your mom's way, your friend's way, that pretty mom on IG, her way, but really designing a way of moving through your day, your parenting, your setting boundaries, whatever your communication looks like, in a way that works for you. So I just want to start with kind of a frame work for this to help you understand what I mean when I say write your own rules of motherhood. We're talking about boundaries, and we're talking about you doing what you want the way you want instead of whatever is happening now that is just not creating joy for you. So one of the things that I notice with our clients who come into my programs is that often people are doing a lot of things that they don't want to be doing and that don't bring them joy. Now, just bear with me for a moment and kind of turn your brain down on how it wants to argue with what I'm saying, because you'll think of the laundry and you'll think of the dishes and you'll think of school drop off or pickup or whatever the things are that you're wed to, that you do every day. I can't stop doing that because that's what your brain's going to go. I'm giving you a little preface here to say that when your brain wants to do that, when it goes there, I want you to suspend it for the sake of being able to hear an important message today. Again, I've been doing this 20 years. I've been helping families, family systems from the inside out, moms and how moms think and how moms work and how they communicate and how they set boundaries to change the way that families vibe together. This is so important that you get and understand that you're operating from patterns that did not start with you. Many, most of them did not start with you. So a first question out of the gate for you guys is, how many things are you doing right now that you don't remember ever agreeing to? How many things are you doing right now? And I'm going to drop this in the comments because I can't see. Facebook doesn't wake up until I drop a comment. How many things are you doing right now that you don't remember agreeing to? And I want you to answer me. Take a moment and answer drop it in the chat. I want to see. I want you guys to participate. Do you feel, just take a minute to think about it, do you feel that you're doing things you don't even remember signing up for? You don't even remember really anyone asking you to do it? Okay, now, the first things that may come to mind are like things you agreed to at your kids' schools. Maybe you do remember agreeing to those, or remember saying yes at some point and not wanting to say yes So maybe some of you did want to say yes, and bravo. We love you. We need you, people who want to participate and can participate like that. I'm a full-time working mama with my own business. I do show up for my kids, but I don't volunteer in their classrooms typically, and I'm not the room parent anymore. There was a time when I took a turn, and I don't do it anymore. And I'm so grateful to people who do have the space and bandwidth for that. But for those of you who don't, and you're doing it anyway, what errands have you taken on for your kids that like really you said you weren't going to do, but now you're doing them? What kind of home chores, what kind of running of the family business are you doing that you don't even remember saying, okay, yes, I'll take that on. You take this on, I'll take that on. There weren't conversations about it. There weren't agreements about it. I want to know if this has gone on for you. I want you to say yes in the chat right now, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay. I want you to comment if you do know that you have agreed to things without remembering you agreed to them and you're now doing them and they're pissing you off. You just don't want to do them anymore. You don't like it. It's making you grumpy. People don't appreciate it. Give a hello if you know what I'm talking about here. People don't appreciate that maybe you do the laundry. I know a lot of you here. I know you do grown people's laundry. I know a lot of people that have become clients were doing their husband's laundry. Full grown adult. 2 people, fully fledged adults, 1 adult doing both adults' laundry. Maybe because you want to, but for those of you who don't want to, you're who I'm talking to today. Those of you who are still doing your kids' laundries, even though they can reach inside the washer and move their things to the dryer, they can fold clothes. They could learn theoretically how to fold clothes, but you're still doing it all anyway. On top of your life, your work, your business, your emails, your managerial stuff, and your logistics coordinating, right? Moms do so much of that by default. So here's why. Here's why it's happening. And I'm not saying any yeses, and I just don't believe it. I don't believe you guys. Say yes if you're taking on those things, and maybe no one's here on the live because we are in a really hectic time. But the reason why this is important is because this is one of the hugest causes of people running down their health and losing that connection, that loving connection with their kids once they become teens. Cue the resentment, cue the arguments, cue the, oh my God, how is this kid going to function in the world, worries and anxiety, because I haven't taught them how they're helpless, they're clueless. This is what happens at that age if you don't set it up in the beginning the way you want it to go. So if you are doing things now that you never agreed to, you don't remember agreeing to them, it's because you didn't agree to them. It's because no one asked you and you never said yes. And that's just true. So what do we think about that? What do we think about taking on jobs by default that because we thought that it was a part of some role we needed to fill? And that's okay. There was a time when there was a lot of baby holding and shushing and they only wanted mommy or whatever it was. Kids couldn't self-soothe. But then you never put it down. You never find a better way. You never actually slow down enough to ask yourself, what do I want to agree to and what do I don't want to agree to anymore? So here's why we do it. We do it because we make unconscious agreements. What's an unconscious agreement? This is my favorite. Like, I really love talking about the conscious and unconscious minds and that flow and space and communication in between the two. And I have studied deeply the role of the unconscious. This is where my training began. And the role of the unconscious mind in dictating how we show up in our families and in our relationships is the biggest factor of all factors. Not your master's degree, not your training in whatever your craft is, not the couples therapy you've done. None of those things call the shots. The thing that calls the shots is your unconscious mind. So your unconscious agreements are dictating how you show up in parenting and in marriage, okay? So your unconscious agreements, this is how things become the way that they are in your co-parenting situation or in motherhood. And so they happen because of generational patterns And because of deeply buried expectations and beliefs that you have about what it means to be a mother, what it means to be a care provider, what it means to be a wife. If you're a wife, I never call myself that word. It gives me the heebie jeebies. I'm sorry. It just does. That makes me feel possessed. What it means to be a partner. And I know some of you don't like the word partner, but I'm using my language here. What it means to belong in a relationship agreement. We're going to stick together. We're going to work together. We're going to do this thing together. We're going to back each other up, whatever you want to call it, your significant other, your kid's other parent. So why do we make unconscious agreements if they're not going to result in our happiness? Because we think we have to. We do not know that they are negotiable. We don't know that they're optional. And I'm here today and every day that I ever show up for you guys to tell you that, one, this is not your fault. That you set something up in a way, that something has set up in a way that a generational pattern or a parent or whatever told you that you just had to do it this way. That this is a mom's role. This is a mom's job. That you don't get to choose. It's not your fault that you swallowed that. It's not your fault that you think it should be a certain way, but that way doesn't work for you. That's not your fault. That doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just means that you're stuck in this unconscious pattern. That's all it means. So I want you to think for a moment about what it's costing you to continue to do things that because you think you should do them or other people think you should do them, that you've unconsciously agreed to. What does it mean for your health? What does it mean for your energy level? What does it mean for the way you look at your partner, the way you feel about your partner? And the biggest one, what does it mean for what your kids witness and see and pick up on around the way you feel about your partner? Give it a minute. Which area comes up for you as the highest cost area? How your kids are seeing your relationship? How they're going to learn to navigate life just the way that you are? Which one do you know is the biggest one for you? Or what's happening in your health right now? What's happening in your energy level right now? And how is that impacting your work, your relationships with your kids, and how they see you? If you know which one it is, what's your knee-jerk response? Drop it in the comments now. Which one? Okay. So now that you've thought about that for a minute, I'm going to say it again just for the record. If you are in this stuck place where you've taken on so much and you don't know how to offload it, because that feels so confusing and hard. And it is confusing. And I'm going to give you that one. It's not easy peasy to just stop doing 10 things every day that you're doing that you realize other people could be doing, or you could offload, or you could delegate, but I don't know how to do it. That's where people hit. So I just want to say this is not your fault, and really hear me say this. These are unconscious triggers, patterns, things that automatically repeat for us. And until you can see what they are and question them, none of them are going to change. Okay. So what the main cost for my clients is, and for myself personally, before I started recognizing changing some of these things, is that it's sort of like you're walking through life like, I know exactly what my kid needs. I know exactly what the house needs. I know exactly where I need to be 3 steps ahead in order to make that 10 steps ahead thing a success, but I don't know what my needs are. I actually couldn't tell you what I'm feeling right now, the last time I ate, how many minutes I've moved my body today, how long I've been sitting here. People aren't aware of those things. We just aren't aware. We will never ignore our children's needs when it really matters. You guys will not ignore your kids. You couldn't not notice your kids' needs if you tried. I know that's true. Women are wired to be attuned to what people around us need. We're paying attention to that, but we're not paying attention to what we need. And the reason why this is important is because when you don't pay attention to your needs, you can't take care of them. And when you don't take care of your needs, you are a nightmare. You are. You're either going to collapse and get sick, or you're going to be mean to people, short tempered. You're going to get sick. Like, these are the options when you sustain this kind of lack of wellness, well-being for you. And it's mental and it's emotional, and then it becomes physical. Once again, it's not your fault. The point of me teaching you this is not for you to then walk away with a message that says, I am not doing it right. I'm not doing enough. I'm pulling back a curtain that most people don't know is here. And I'm showing you that your unconscious mind is calling the shots for me, for you, for your partner, for everybody here. And these are going to become your children's patterns, because that is just how it works. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of the neuroscience behind this and the energetic piece of this, but kids pick up patterns. They replicate patterns. They think they're their own. And it was the same for you. You picked up your family of origin patterns and you thought they were yours. Okay. That's how it works. So the good news, and the reason I'm coming on today with this message, is that you can change what's not working for you. You can change it. You can change anything about the way you're doing something that is not giving you the result of the rest you want, the ease, the connection, that being the loving authority. You can change anything. If you're like tired, bitter, snappish, don't have enough time for anything, you're working 60 hours a week and you're running nonstop and no one appreciates what you're doing for them. You're giving 20 hours a week to your family and 40 hours to, think about it really, like think about how much you're giving to your work or your job. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And the good news is that if you don't like it, whatever parts are not working for you, whatever you're like, I don't need to be doing this anymore. It's time for me to say no to that. It's time for me to say, now I'm going to teach you how to do it. My beautiful 10-year-old child or my beautiful 4-year-old child, you can help mommy fold clothes now, or you can take over your laundry or whatever. These are examples from my own personal life. And you can make these shifts when you no longer say yes to what you do not have the bandwidth for or the desire for. There is immediate relief. Immediate relief. And guess what happens? You get time back. You get energy back. You get creativity back. You get yourself back. I will never sugarcoat this. Unconscious patterns need to be shifted to make this process of ease successful for you. If you don't ever address the unconscious, which is also embedded in your nervous system, these things are really wed to each other. How my nervous system fires and wires, how my brain fires and wires, what that neuropathic sort of functioning is all connected. My unconscious is the engine. It's firing. My nervous system's taking the cues, and then I feel emotionally crappy, and then I feel negative in my mindset. It's all operating together and it's all connected. And so there is not a reality in which I am aware of that you can change one piece and everything automatically shifts. The clinical work I've been doing for 20 years tells me, hands down, without a doubt, and with total certainty, that when someone who's ready for change, who wants the desired outcome of really having ease, feeling at peace in their bodies, and letting that overflow to being with their kids, meaning you have awesome boundaries. You don't say yes to things you don't want to do. It's pretty simple. That happens when we shift and rework and rewire the unconscious patterns. And so what I'm going to do for you guys right now, I know it's a busy time. I also know people have so much, things spike around the holidays. So if you're somebody who's sitting on just a lot of frustration right now, a lot of pain, you want change, but you don't know where to begin, you don't even know how to sort out, like, what am I doing that I want to change? I have like 3 spots left, and I'm offering a free consult tomorrow, 20 minutes. We're going to keep it super tight to help you get clear about what's not working the way that you want it to. And then I will help you identify what are your next steps that you can take in the new year that are going to change the course for you so that you start getting a different result. So I'm going to drop this in the chat now. This is like a really quick free offer, you guys. And this is of the highest value that I can offer you as a one-on-one conversation. And it is of no charge. And I'm doing this because I live to help moms to love on their kids better. At the end of the day, that is the thing that I care about the most in the whole wide world, is how to help you to love on your kids better. You know why? Because we can end a generational pattern with us. We can decide that what our parents gave us is not what we want to give our kids. And we don't have to throw anyone under the bus to do that. We don't have to criticize our parents to do it. We can just say, like, that didn't work to get me where I wanted to go. And I want to give my kids a different experience, which means I'm going to need to learn how to fill the gaps that I have in living a life that is healthy and boundaried, so I can teach my kids how to really believe in themselves. At the end of the day, I mean, what's more important? For me, nothing. For me, not my business, my home, nothing. I know at the end of the day that if I am giving my kids a template for, not by explaining it, but living it, showing them how to really care about themselves, care for themselves, how to know that they are enough, and how to know that they deserve happiness, and that they also need to know how to take responsibility for it. This isn't a reality in which I'm going to do everything for my kids and then they're going to think they're worthy. Never. That never works. You got to teach them how to be responsible for their own creation of their own happiness. And I started with my kids from when they had receptive language. They were toddlers when I started teaching them about creating the life they want in their own reality. And it's never too late, you guys. It's never, never too late. So if you want to grab one of those 3 spots, we may be down to 2 or 3 spots that are available now. Go ahead and click the link. Go ahead and book your free consult for tomorrow. We're heading into holidays now. We're heading into full-on family time. I am closing my calendar to be with my people next week and a few days beyond that, and traveling to see family. And I want you to have the joy that I have. I want you to be able to say what I said. I heard myself saying a few years ago. It was probably more than a few, maybe 5 years ago, when I was Christmasing with my family, and I just felt such a surge of joy and fulfillment after having aligned so much and made the unconscious shifts that I needed to make. I heard myself saying out loud, actually to my parents, which was like a really surprising thing that this came out of my mouth. And I heard myself saying, I have everything I've ever wanted. And I really meant it. It didn't mean at that point that, all of life's problems were solved, but they don't need to be. We don't need to solve all of life's problems in order to feel epic joy, in order to expand into fulfillment, in order to give our kids that version of ourselves and what that feels like. We don't need to solve all of life's problems. We don't need to be perfect. I'm so imperfect. I make mistakes all day, every day. I am not even aspiring to be perfect. Another conversation I have with my kids all day, every day. Like, I made mistakes. I will disappoint you. There will be things you want and I'm not going to do them. This is reality. This is life. I wouldn't do them any favors if I taught them otherwise, that life was always going to roll out a red carpet full of yeses to them. I would not be a good mom for them. So my passion is teaching mothers how to be that, what they need to be for their kids their own way. And you get to write the rules for that. You get to decide you don't want to do certain things and you do want to focus more on other things. And you get to make that good with your kids, and you get to help them to actually learn how to take care of and nurture their own needs for a really healthy, fulfilling future, because we only get this much time. So speaking of time, I'm going to wrap this up now. And I just want to give you guys big love and say at the end of this year, 2024, that's been a crazy year for me in many ways. Lots of joys, lots of new things, lots of firsts. I just want to really acknowledge you for being here and give you so much thanks for being in this community and for being a part of it, for listening, for maybe lurking, some of you quietly following along, and others of you who are more proactive and interactive and participating in our workshops, of which we will have so many more in 2025. And I want to leave you with one question, which is however you're feeling now, whatever version of motherhood you're in, whatever version of your own becoming you are in, I want to ask a question for you to just sit and ponder for a moment, which is this how I want it to be going? Is this how I want it to go? Is this the version of my life I want to take with me and recreate in 2025? Be brave enough to hear the answer. Do I want to spend another year doing it the same way? If it's a yes, you're doing it. Awesome. Congratulations. If it's a, oh God, no, I don't want to feel this way at the end of 2025. I know I have to do something. Something has to give. Then get on my calendar. Okay? The link won't be opened up again until the new year. So if you need to wait till then, get on my calendar for the new year. But don't let yourself suffer thinking that you'll be okay, because we don't know that you will be. A lot of people wind up really crashing hard, and I don't want that to happen to you, and I don't want it to happen on my watch when you're here in this community and you've been learning, been following, been listening. Let this be a call to action for you to pay attention to how you feel and how life is going for you now. And then give yourself a yes or no on, do you want to recreate it this way? And let it go, like let things keep happening the way they're happening for one more year. And really be brave enough to hear the answer. And if it's a no, I want you to do something right now about it. And the easy thing here is to like, let me help you to get more clarity. Because without the clarity, you don't know what your next steps are. And I don't know what your next steps are, but I'm happy to help you and shine a light on something for you and give you a recommendation or some guidance. Okay. Love you guys so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful time celebrating with your family over the holidays. I'm wishing you so much joy, so much peace, and the capacity to slow down and enjoy it all. All right, you guys, have a beautiful day. Until next time.